All right, thanks for staying with us. Today, we will be discussing how best to handle failed promises in friendships, relationship, marriage, and family. Well, according to Aristotle, a promise made must be a promise kept. And oftentimes, we've been victims of failed promises or the promulgator of broken promises. It is often said that promises can win you friends, but failure to deliver them will turn them against you. Without a doubt, people with good intention make promises, while people with good character keep them. Now the question is, how efficient are you in keeping promises, and how do you react to broken promises? Broken promises have led to many broken friendships. That's what we said earlier, but the question is how best you keep promises. How best you keep promises. But then, if you do not keep promises, that makes you a bad person, per se, because we are saying that it's a reflection of your character if you keep your promises. But then you can join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. Or you can tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewOnTVC. Have you broken, I will begin with, have you broken any promise that you made, Mary? Have you broken
Me?
Yes, I'll begin with you. Because your eyes is looking like someone that has broken promises.
So, yes, I've broken a few promises, even vows.
Why?
Because life happens.
What is this life that
Because
happens?
life happens. So you know how you have, as you mentioned earlier, good intentions, but then things happen that make it impossible to carry out those good intentions. It could be just about anything. Maybe you promise to get someone something. Usually, what causes me not keeping my promises is I forget a lot.
You forget you made a promise.
Babe, I can forget my own hair at home. Like, that is
Wow,
one,
wow, Mary.
Trust me, if I tell you what my mom used to say to me, we're going to shut down now. So, but I forget a lot. So usually it's not because I do not want to keep it.
So it's not intentional.
It's not intentional. So when the person reminds me, in most cases, I try to remedy it. But if it's, okay, I've actually, and this is an apology, I've actually missed 2 weddings before, and I was the bridesmaid in the weddings. No kidding. So it is that
forgot?
bad. I forgot. The first one, I got called on the day of the wedding. Apologies, Anthony. And it was his sister's wedding.
Shocking.
I'm not joking. It was his sister's wedding, and I got called, and where are you? And I'm like, where am I? I'm in church. It was Saturday morning, and they're like, today is the wedding. Which wedding?
Ah.
I was now asking, before I was now told that it is his sister's wedding that I had bought clothes for, done everything for. I didn't even turn up the previous day, but they thought I'll come the proper day. That was one. The second one, Tina Share. Again, I'm sorry. Tina's wedding. A close friend of mine, we used to work, the law firm I was working on was just directly on top of hers. And Tina got, I still remember the color of the dress. So it was lemon. Very lovely dress. I was looking forward to wearing it. Until the wedding day, when Tina called me and said,
where are you?
The bride's train is not complete. They said they haven't seen you at all. And I'm like, see me for what? Are we doing something today before the wedding? He said, no, it's today. I am ashamed of these things. And to me, it's still part of promises that have been broken. And so I've made a point to always make notes, fix reminders, because I know I fall into that category of people that can forget things. And
how did they react? Because I'm interested in afterwards. How did they react?
So I don't wait for their reaction. I cut off immediately because I'm
You
scared.
cut off?
Yes, because I'm scared of their reaction. And then years later, when we see, I feel like they are better. And truly, in most cases, in fact, in all cases, they are better because, you know, I'm too sweet not to forgive.
Do you take time to apologize?
Of course I do. It's very important. Even though I know at that point they're probably really mad at me. Of course, who forgets someone's wedding? If it happened once, yes,
Mary does.
Twice.
Okay, right, Mary does.
I feel bad. It's something I'm not proud of. But that's why when they say promises, because to me, it's a promise. You've gotten the bridesmaid dress, you have gotten this, and then you just do not turn up. And it's not intentional. So that's why I said some of the promises I've broken were not intentional. They just happened.
And then there's also the aspect of circumstances making some persons break
break
your
it.
promise.
Yes, for example. There are also instances like that. So, again, I apologize. But that's why I feel like promises get broken. Sometimes not
It
because
doesn't
you want
define
to.
you.
It doesn't define me. I didn't mean it. After all, do you know how much it is to be a bridesmaid?
You actually had bought the clothes, oh.
It wasn't even current. That was why I stopped agreeing to be bridesmaids for anybody, because I had spent like over 20,000 as that. I'm talking of 2000 and something, early 2000s, and I'm not showing up for wedding. So since I knew that, because I'm not outgoing, so since I knew that if I could do that, anytime anybody asked me to be on their bridal train, I had to turn it down.
Right. I am on the receiving end of, would I call it a broken promise? Well, we were just friends, a lady and I. We were just friends. We grew up together. And I felt that, oh, we're cool and all of that. And I was always looking out for her at the time, to the extent that my mom had to caution me at some point. Why? Because I took her so close. I'm not one that makes friends, but I took interest in her. We were close, I thought. And so at the time, my mom asked me, she left for another school. And so I was weeping for 3 days. I was crying. This girl is not here. I was feeling all alone and all of that.
You must have been really close.
Yes, I thought I was close to her. You know, sometimes you feel you are close to people,
and the person is not.
but the person is not close to you.
Yeah,
so
there are two popular comedians in that situation now, but please go on.
Don't go there.
You didn't just do that.
Okay.
So I felt that we're close. My mom cautioned me at the time, but I felt, she's close to me and all of that. And then somehow life happened to both of us, and she goes on to make some statements because I asked a question that I felt was actually important to ask at the time she was about to get married. And she felt, no, I shouldn't have asked this question and blah and all of it. And that broke. So she went ahead to start saying things.
You don't want her to get married.
About me.
So.
She went ahead to start saying things about me. I was broken. I felt like my world was crumbling on me and all of that. And it took me a while to get over it. It took a long while because then I found it difficult committing to friendships. I found it difficult, especially with ladies. I felt because I'll put in my all and then you not once, oh.
Wow.
Twice.
Wow. Looks like we do things twice here.
Twice this happened to me. And so giving my all to friendships, committing to friendships, not just making promises, but committing to friendships. And indirectly, you are promising that you'll be there for this person. You will not do things that will hurt this person. That's what it is about when it comes to friendships, not marriage now. Because marriage has its own that you're bringing, talking about, I'll take care of you, I'll provide for you, I'll do this, I'll ensure there's peace in the home, I will not trouble you, and all of those things, the vows you make on the altar if you're a Christian. And then I believe the Muslims also have this commitment they reach one to another. So that is different from friendships now. So we just have this unwritten commitment we make to our friends. But then when it is broken, how do we respond?
You know, that's what I'm saying about the indirect as well.
For me, I think that the best of man is still man.
Yes, the best of us is still a man.
He's still a man. Forget all the titles at the end of the day. So I say, if people hurt me, which is very, very normal, like I see the hurt and I'm like, you have done your own, okay now, who is the next person? You see? So we have those. In my mind, I do not commit a lot to expect so much from people.
Right.
I do not. Maybe in the past, I'd always been involved in things like that. Say, oh, this person can never. Oh,
me. Yeah.
The moment you say never, they go on nevering like they never did. Do you see? So they go on doing the things that you probably say they don't. So I don't give too much expectations. I try to give people benefit of doubt. But the moment they
why
break...
Why shouldn't we have expectations of people? Why not?
So, because I know that I am not perfect. Even before all these not turning up for weddings, then from childhood, I've learned to not expect. Instead, I look forward to people expecting from me. It's weird, I know. I like to step up to the plate, even if I'm not getting the same in return. It's not low self-esteem. At some point, I was wondering if it was, but it's not. It's just a case of, I just like being there for the people I care about.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to expect. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know, initially when we were talking about this before coming on air, I was like, I cannot readily remember any major disappointment. Maybe somebody failing me or telling me lies. Yes, those little disappointments, but a major one. So the thing with family is this. I usually keep the, would I say, the level low.
Okay.
Because I do not want to raise the bar and it gets dropped. Fortunately for me...
You're being careful.
Yes. Fortunately for me, I've not had to go beyond that. In fact, in most cases, the bar remains high. And I must thank my family members for that. They've been amazing. But does this happen for everybody else? No. It doesn't.
All right. We have Abubakar calling from Kano. Good morning. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
What I have observed about broken promises is that unless you give promises you will not fulfill to the woman. Hello?
Right, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
You women you like us giving you promises that we will not fulfill. You give conditions that we cannot meet, so we accept to meet those conditions because that's what the women like. Those that are frank with the women and tell them the truth are the ones they don't like. That's my experience. I don't know. So will you call that broken promise? It's not broken. She's the one giving the condition. For instance, she says, okay, buy me a phone, 150,000 naira. And I know if I don't say yes, she will not be happy with me. So I say, okay, I promise at the end of the month I'll buy you a phone. And then we continue the relationship. At the end of the month, of course, I will not buy it. But that's how to keep her close.
So why can't you just tell the person that you cannot, you can't afford it?
It's just a simple conversation.
Were you aiming to get something at that point?
She will stay away.
She will stay away.
No, why can't you just be open?
Exactly.
I've just answered you. I said she will stay away.
The person will stay away.
And then why don't you let the person stay away?
Why don't you let the person stay away?
It does seem like you're taking advantage of the person as well.
That's it.
Because obviously that person had something to offer at that point you wanted to take advantage of, but you were not ready to.
And this is so very popular, especially maybe employers. Sometimes they would promise after 6 months, you're this one, you're that one, you know, and they just keep promising. And at the end of the day, you'll be the one chasing to say, okay, sir, you know, even though sometimes documents may be written and agreements would have been made, but it's just so unfortunate because it stems from, like you said, relationships in different sectors. So what's the big deal? If you can't afford something, someone is asking you for something. I can't afford a 150K phone. No. Would you manage 20K? They make one Romeo or Torchlight or something, and the person is expecting. And one thing that baffles me at the end of the day is that you keep leading the person on.
That's deception.
You keep leading the person on. So what?
There's no two-way deception.
So why are you not being open?
Yes.
Why can't you just be open to let the person know that, okay, I cannot afford this, or is it an ego issue?
Perhaps. It might be an ego, but at the end of the day, you will still have conflict with that person when you say you cannot.
Because the person will still get to
know
that you do not afford it.
So why are you telling lies? I hear a lot of, you have to form it or else the girls will not come after you. Why don't you go to the girls that will still want you with what you don't have? Must you go for the one that does not want you if you are not up to a certain standard?
Right.
I hear a lot of these things and I find it really appalling because I feel like so many people feel entitled. And it's that entitlement that is the problem. You feel like, why should I not have it? Why can't you be my girl?
Why
yes, I can't afford you. Okay, let me borrow.
What are you feeling like?
What are you feeling like? I will show you that I'm the boss. You're not the boss because you're still not up to the standard. At the end of the day, and this goes both ways, male and female. You're still not up to it. You borrow clothes, you borrow shoes, you live a fake life, you're on loan, just because you want to live with the Joneses, keep up with the Joneses. Which Joneses? The Joneses that are depending on loan in the bank. But because you don't know, or the Joneses that already have family inheritance, that they have backup, you are doing what you cannot afford. Then you now say, the person hurts me. Which hurts?
But you know, sometimes some people say that when you're doing this, you're probably packaging for where you want to be
yeah,
in the
hear that
future.
one.
Yes, some people
Fake
say
it
it's
till you
Some
make
people
fake
do
it
not
till
get
you
to
make
that
it.
point, oh. Some people do not make it to that point. Let's quickly take Williams calling from Akwa Ibom. Williams, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Very well.
Very well, thank you.
All right. Okay. I think it's talk about promises and broken promises. There is no perfect human. We are not.
Could you speak up a bit, please?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
better.
Thank you.
I think human. We are not perfect. We are not perfect human. There is no perfect being. So you are bound to be broken promises and keeping promises. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the truth is, you must have to be yourself. That in this line of being promises, because you want to keep friends, you want to keep relationship, and you keep on making promises that you can't keep, you must come real. Like your last call, because you find a girl that is so loved, and to keep him, because you want to get
That's
maybe
not
the
love.
answer of his right? No, let me keep it that real. You have to
That's
make
not
promises
love.
That's not
because
Love is openness.
because you remind for something. She said she reminds for something. Maybe before I make this relationship with you, I need this stuff, and because the guy cannot afford it. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah, because he cannot afford it because he needs this girl. So I have to make this. I have to tell her. I have to tell her that okay, I'll afford this stuff. Possibly because you want to get up. So it comes in the minds of human. Some simply because you want to get stuff. You want to get some stuff from somebody. But the truth be told, listen, life is something that we human we have to be so honest to ourselves. You understand? We really have to be honest to ourselves. We have to come real. But in the process of you coming real, sometimes we've been faulty. We've been faulty to ourselves simply because we want to please somebody. In the person of pleasing somebody, and we go for maybe pouring the little bit the answer of it. But in your case, we have to sometimes be real to ourselves. Sometimes being real. So we don't know to maybe somebody, maybe we will have to be maybe say maybe get perfect to somebody's high in the process of maybe being a good person because you want to maintain a relationship. But in the truth, let's sometimes be honest to ourselves. Have a nice day, ladies.
And you too.
Thank you.
Now,
Hey.
the foundation for me is for any relationship, be it friendship, marriage, whatever it is, there has to be openness. If it is not there,
There's no point.
there's no point. I mean,
If you guys cannot confide
if you
in
are
each
being
other.
real, then you will tell the person, I cannot afford it.
Yes.
That is what
And
it
if the
should
person
be.
is a good friend, the person will understand.
The other person will understand with you. How you began that friendship is either what will make the person either believe you.
What did you just say? How you began. Most people begin on a false note. Just like the first caller, you pretend to be what you're not. So when the person has expectations, the expectations we mentioned.
It's based on what the person saw.
It's based on what the person saw. It's based on what you put on the table. But you get to a point in your relationship or your friendship that you should be honest. People fail to do that.
And even marriage, where you made a vow to the woman or the man that you will care for them, you will do this, you will do that, you will provide for them. Yes, we know that, and life happens. And you may not be able to meet up with certain demands because of the difficulty or the challenges that life threw at you. That's understandable. But how do you begin? You made a commitment. You made a vow to do this and that, to take care of the person, to be there for the person, oftentimes. What are you doing? To be kind to the person.
I think that one thing that we try to ignore is the fact that we expect that things will forever go the way we vowed or promised. Things happen along the line. And we realize that in situations like that, people fail to communicate, to say that, okay, yes, I know I spoke to you regarding X, Y, Z, but currently, this is the situation.
on the ground.
People don't want to be open to have conversations like that, and they'll just feel like
That's where ego comes in. As far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
We have Williams on the line, calling from Abuja. Williams, go ahead with your contribution. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
So, that means what I'm trying to relationship, very yeah, relationship, serious relationship. So, to me, relationship that means I don't expect anything from anybody, which means promise. If promise me, that means promise you will just say it out. But for me to put it in my mind, or maybe to ask you about the promise that you did, no, it's not part of me. I mean also, any relationship that I engage into, that means I will only that I'm not that type of person that is promise. Understand? But the only thing that I can do, whenever you have an issue or maybe need, openly tell me so that.
Why did you decide not to have expectations of people? Were you heartbroken before? Were you disappointed before?
Yes. So I believe that to me my cup is already full in that side. so I don't want anything like that. But if I'm with someone, if you have a issue, you are in need, just come out freely. If it's something that I can stand with, or maybe, okay, let us do it like this. Let us make it 50-50. That means it will not be like maybe I don't want to do, or maybe I don't want to like stand for your need or anything like that. So that's my own point, Sha, in terms of promise.
But have you broken a promise before?
No, I'm not that type.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a type.
If you say so.
No, serious. That's why I say I don't expect anything from anybody. And if me and you want, and someone wants to.
All right.
I don't think people realize that.
We need to quickly go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us.